Thank me, thank me, thank me, thank me, thank me. Thank me, thank me. Do you have any control over anyone else? Is this twisting your brain into a knot? You've been taught to send your appreciation into so many places, and the hardest thing for you to do, for most of you, is to appreciate yourself. But you've got to start there, because you are your point of attraction. Yeah.
Well, that's kind of what I want to ask. So, Source is always flowing through all of us.
Yeah.
So, are
aware of you, interested in you, eager for you, and adoring you.
Yeah.
And call it whatever you want.
Yeah. And so, are we each always flowing through each other?
Well, in the sense that we are all one and that we are all part of Source, yes.
So then the part of each of us that is flowing through us is what's in our vicinity?
Say it again.
What's in our vibrational vicinity? The part of all.
What are you getting at? Give us a bigger picture of what you're reaching for.
I'm wondering about the soup. I'm wondering about the bathing in it all. I'm wondering about the perceiving of everyone and everything and how that affects our vibration.
Well, that has to do with how stable you are in a vibration to begin with. If you've taken the time to get yourself centered, you're in alignment, you're feeling good, you've got momentum going, and you're not introducing pieces of resistance to it so that the momentum of your alignment is solid, is what we were talking about with the first conversation today, so that you're tuned in, so that you're receiving, then you are the dominant factor in the environment that surrounds you. Most people don't do that, because most people, you've got your noses in everybody else's business. So you're observing, and then you are not meaning to, but you are then adjusting your vibration to what you are observing. And that's what makes you then, as individuals and as collective consciousness, it's what makes you want to control the conditions, because you think that the conditions need to be controlled before you can feel the way you want to feel. Esther said to someone the other day that she used to worry coming together in a gathering like this. They were actually talking about the event in London, which was a very wonderful experience, but it was the strangest venue that Esther had ever been in, because more than 50% of the audience was upstairs on a balcony, and they seemed, at Esther's first glance before they arrived, as Esther was looking at the empty auditorium, they seemed removed. And then a smaller group, so there were 1,600 or 1,700 people in the theater, but it was odd the way that it was. Then it activated a memory within Esther, a vibration within Esther, of her concern about what would happen in a forum like this. What if some rascal gets up out of his seat and demands his way onto the stage? or what if? And over time, Esther came to understand that it didn't matter, because the vibration of Abraham, which is present in everyone, is the dominant vibration in the room. And that with some slight cooperation, that there would be a resonance that everyone would find. And so the way Esther describes that, the way Esther interprets it, is that Abraham's got the vibration of the room. In other words, we don't need to worry about anything. There's nothing other than well-being that can take place in an environment like that. So Esther began to relax. We're talking about years back. She began to relax and acknowledge that well-being is what is dominant. Well, over time, we were able to help Esther understand that that's always the case. It's what we've been talking with all of you about here today, is that well-being is dominant. Well-being is dominant. This planet continues to spin in perfect proximity to other planets because well-being is dominant. Because as each of you come and sift and sort and decide and define and throw into the vortex this vibrational reality, which is the preceder of all that is good and all that is coming next, is such well-being that nothing other than well-being can be your experience. Oh, you can be part of a group, you can be an individual or part of a group who gets focused upon something and pinches yourself off, so you are in the shade, disallowing the abundance of well-being to shine on you. But it's a short thing that happens. You can pinch yourself off and be miserable in this lifetime, but you're not going to upset the vibrational balance of this planet or of this universe or of the well-being that is. Well-being is abundant. It is dominant. That's what we want you to come to understand. And so when you insert yourself, or when you attract to you, and there's a difference. If you see yourself as the attractor of that which is around you, then you never need to worry about what's coming. As you are centered about who you are and you let what you want come to you, it's different. But you could assert yourself. That's one of the reasons that Esther never wanted Abraham to be presented on network television. She never did. It's the reason that she used to say, I do not want us to distort Abraham's message by trying to assert ourselves into the living rooms of those who are not asking. Esther trusted, and so did Jerry. He talked about it all the time. Law of attraction is our friend that will bring to us those who are looking for that which we are. And now she is realizing, as she receives the letters from around the world, the details of the people, the numbers of the people in politics, the people in religion, the people who are instrumental in things that are taking place around the planet. They are understanding this. In other words, if you look to those who are accomplishing, you almost always find someone who is steeped in an understanding of their point of attraction. And so, if we were standing in your physical shoes, we would not worry about the soup. We would only worry about the potato that is us within the soup. And we would let whatever else comes, come, you see. Because if you get focused upon the other components, then you may, depending upon whose vibration is dominant, the dominance that is them may activate something that has been dormant in you, and now you're off on another experience. You see, sometimes people talk about clearing, or they talk about cleansing, or they talk about purifying, as if there are pieces of you that you need to discard. And it's not like that at all. Every thought that has ever been thought still exists. And every thought that you've ever thought still has the potential of being thought again by you. The things that you call your memory, it's not memory. Your brain isn't a storage cabinet. You are a transmitting and receiving mechanism. And when you accomplish a certain vibrational frequency, things that match that frequency come to you from your past, from your present, from your future. In other words, it's what law of attraction is. It knows no time and space boundaries. It brings to you the vibrational equivalent of what you've got going on. So when you understand that you are the keeper of your own frequency, and that with some reasonable attention that you can hold yourself where you want to be, then you never need to worry about controlling any environment, because the environment will adjust itself to the frequency of your being. That's what creation is. That's what realization is. That's what co-creation at its best is. So here you are as varied extensions of source energy, all at the heart of who you are, at the core of who you are, knowing your value and your worthiness. And as you find these thoughts that we are offering here and practice them until they feel familiar to you, then you are less likely for some contradictory thought that doesn't mesh with who you really are to be part of your day-to-day experience. So then some worry, well, how do I know that this is really right path? How do I know that this is really source that I'm finding and following? And we say, you have to come to trust the way you feel. And the thing that is so odd about some of the things that humans have come to practice and therefore believe is that if it feels good, it must not be. If it feels hard, then it must be good. If there's sacrifice in it, then I should do it. And we say, who's been guiding you? Someone who says, don't be selfish and do what you want. And what do they mean? Do what I want. Don't you dare be so selfish as to please yourself. You must please this. You must please me. And we say, when you introduce yourself to your true guidance system, and then you practice loving someone, and you feel how that fills you up, and then you practice hating someone, you feel how that empties you out. You practice the thoughts that feel good, and you feel clarity and the vitality, and you feel alive, and you feel the lightheartedness. You feel good. Or you practice the thoughts. You get on some rampage, like a dog on a bone, of some problem that you're going to get to the bottom of, and you feel how it just sucks the life out of you. It's not too hard to teach yourself who you really are and what you really want. And once you figured that out, and then you practice it because it feels good to practice it, not because you're trying to affect some outcome, but because it feels good to practice it. Now there's no resistance in your vibration, and off you go, living happily ever after, just like you planned. Yeah. Enough?
One quick question. When we croak, do we ever wish that we mucked it up more? Like created more contrast?
We're going to give you just a short opportunity to contemplate how silly that question is.
I know. Well,
are you there?
Yes. I just wanted to hear what you had to say.
That's a silly question. In other words, if the things that we've been saying are true, if when you reemerge into non-physical, you leave behind all doubt and fear, and you find yourself in that vibration of appreciation, we will say to you, and this is at the heart of what you are asking for, there is contrast everywhere. In every particle of the universe, there is contrast. And so there is contrast from where we stand as well. But the contrast that we know, from your point of view, would be not discernible. It's that fine of a difference. But there must be contrast in everything in order for there to be expansion. And so it's not a wishing that you had explored more contrast, but there is an awareness. It's more like a humorous awareness that descends on you all at once of the silliness of the things that you made so important. The silliness of the things that you made so important. But even in that, there's no sense of a waste of life, because there is an appreciation of the contrast and the sharpened focus that it gave you. And so when you reemerge into your non-physical, you are, as we are wanting to teach you to be here and now, you are so completely, unequivocally pleased with who you are. And in order to be pleased with who you are, you have to be satisfied with who you have been. Yes?
Yes.
It all goes together, doesn't it? So that's why it's accurate to say, from your present, you change your past. Because your view of your past through the eyes of connection look very different than they did maybe even when you were living it. You have to keep adjusting your past in order to stay whole in your now. How about that? Woo. Yeah. Really good. Really good.